Friends, we're back. It's the first real episode.
The first real episode.
We're doing it again?
We're going to go for 45 minutes at least.
Whew. It's a bold predicament, sir. It's a bold predicament.
Welcome to Hotfix, the weekly podcast that dives into the fascinating world of streaming, gaming, and esports. With your hosts, Brant Vladichuk and Jeremy Kelly.
So this episode, we're going to talk about things to do before you start streaming. Like you're curious about streaming and you want to get started. So that's kind of like what the most of the discussion today is going to be about. Just what do you do because you're interested in streaming? Like where do you go? Where do you start looking? You know what I mean? Like you've seen your favorite streamers and now you're like, hey, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I start?
Mindset and goals.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the first thing we wanted to talk about is just kind of what to expect as a streamer coming from nothing, and it's just something that you're interested in and something that you want to do, right? So I guess like for me, when I first think of what to expect, and it's just like, I know we briefly went over it last episode, but it's like, as far as like viewer count goes, because I guess that's kind of where most people's mind first lies, is in that viewer count, right?
Yeah.
And I think you have to go into things initially not expecting much of a viewer count. Like you can't go in, like you hear stories of, I'll use someone like Choco Taco as an example, just because I've watched him a whole bunch, and he started streaming. His first month was pretty small, but then second month, 100 viewers. Third month, 500 viewers.
But did he really grow that fast?
Yeah. So he started streaming like probably a month before I started.
What the?
Yeah.
What happened? How? What happened?
He's really good. Like he's really good, but he also has the voice, right? He has, especially at that time, like if you think 2 years ago, he was one of like PUBG was gigantic, right? So like that was part of it. He was really friggin' good at PUBG, which is also helps a lot, of course.
Yeah.
But he was like most people who were playing PUBG at that time, are like it's the hype squad, right? It's everyone's just like losing their mind and they're super excited and they're running around, they're super hyper the whole time, they're screaming. But Choco's just chill, right? If he does something really good, he doesn't get excited. If something stupid and frustrating happens, he doesn't get mad. He's just chill, right? So you and your kids can watch it. Your dad could watch it, and it's just like he just you know what I mean. He just has that mentality.
Is that growth all organic, or was there like
he didn't come from anywhere? He didn't like a lot of streamers.
Big raids or hosts or
he
anything?
didn't like you think of like Shroud was a Counter-Strike pro, or I'm a Cutie Pie was a League of Legends pro, or someone was a YouTuber or whatever it may be. He was not. He was I think. I mean, we're not here to talk about like what he was before, but I think he did like engineering for kids, to the best of my knowledge. I think he used to do like engineering with Legos for kids in schools. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what he used to do.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he didn't come from anywhere, but he was like really, really good, really chill, and he always used to he was like one of those streamers who would like talk about what they're doing and just explain the game and explain why what he was doing worked, or I'm about to do this, and then he would do it and it would work, and it's like see, right? So he's just really smart and just super chill. So
on the topic of expectations,
but
don't expect that.
No, because he's like the ultimate outlier.
Yeah,
like especially because he didn't come from anything. Right? If you come from something, you have a following from somewhere else, and that's great. Then you have a better chance of like gaining an audience right away, because you can bring your followers or a percentage of your followers from whatever you did before into streaming, which is great. But most of us don't have that, right? So, and again, Choco didn't have that either, but he's the one in a million, right? Type of situation.
Especially that fast. That's crazy.
Very, very quickly. Like if he started in say March, by the summer, he was ready to be partnered.
Wow, yeah, that's
like
crazy.
like 6 months kind of thing, and he was like partnered and just took off, which is great. And that's fantastic. But yes, the idea is the expectation. Don't expect that.
Yeah, no.
It's like it might happen. Like if someone listening to this might have all those things, all those ducks fall in a row, but
Nice.
but it probably won't happen. Like, don't go in with the expectation that your viewers are going to grow very, very quickly, because they're probably not.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first thing I think you should get out of the way, is just the idea of, okay, let's go into this one step at a time. I think one step at a time, and the biggest thing that I think you should do, and I'll let you give your thought after this, is I think the biggest thing you should set in mind for yourself before starting to stream is don't set big goals, set small goals.
Set achievable goals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can have like a big goal, like a big end goal, but break that down
step by
into
step.
Smaller achievable goals.
Absolutely. So like for me, when I started streaming, like my absolute very first goal was get a follow from someone I didn't know. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good
right?
goal.
Like because I know I start off and like we all have like our friends chat group.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey guys, come over and flip me a follow, and they'll do it, and you'll get 10 or 15 follows in your first stream or whatever it may be, and that feels great and it's awesome. But then you can also go streams where you don't get any follows.
Yeah.
And no one talks. And nothing, right?
And
That happens.
You're just streaming to a black void.
To nobody, right? Which is great practice, but it can be disheartening. And we'll get to that for sure. But my first goal was just a follow from someone I don't know. Like someone random pops in the chat, and I've talked to them enough or I've done something entertaining enough that they actually decide to click that follow button. That was the first goal, and it's such a small goal, but that should be the kind of thing that you should set your mind to with your like early expectations before you start streaming.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of like of expectations before you start?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. More expectations wise, if you've never streamed before, it's not as easy as just turning it on. I fell into the trap of, I game every day, I might as well stream it.
Right. Exactly.
And I think a lot of people,
yeah.
definitely heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah.
And if your goal is to make something out of streaming, not just streaming for fun, it's definitely a bit of a trap to have that attitude.
Absolutely. Because there's something too about that you've come to learn once you start streaming, that just by streaming alone, in my opinion, makes playing games less fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's like if you're just chilling playing games with your friends or by yourself, and it's just fun. Like we all play games because they're fun or engaging, or they get us out of whatever. You know, it's a distraction, it's a hobby, whatever it may be. But it's not as fun if you're streaming, because even if you're not taking it as a job, it feels a little like you have a little bit more responsibility.
It will feel a little bit like a job.
Exactly. Exactly. So
so it can definitely bring the fun out of games.
It can, for sure. So that is definitely like an absolutely great point.
Yeah.
Like even if you do play every day, it's like keep in mind that even though you play every day, whatever the game may be, understand that once you're streaming, like you can't sit back and pick your nose and like you got it. You want to have a shirt on and
sit in your boxers, scratch your butt.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe there's viewers that want to see that.
I mean, maybe that might be an OnlyFans thing.
Yes. Yeah, that's the only OnlyFans section right there.
That's right.
But yeah, if your goal is not to be a streamer, like a career streamer, and you just have that mentality of I might as well stream.
Right.
I would highly suggest not, because it's gonna kind of kill a lot of the fun.
I think if you're going to stream because you play all the time, you should at least give it some thought. Like think about the pros and cons of I might as well stream anyway. Like I know there's a pile of streamers who only play games when they stream.
Yeah.
Which is fine, right? But if you are that kind of person who plays games, like that's what you do. Like if you're not at work or at school or hanging out with your friends, or like if you're at home and you have time to kill, then playing games is the thing you do. Maybe take a second to think about, okay, what could, like, weigh out those pros and cons, because it can be a little bit taxing. I guess that's kind of the point, right? It's like it's not the exact same as playing. It's not
No.
not the same thing.
I can sit down and play a game for 12 hours straight.
Easily,
and
yeah.
no problem. But you get like 4 hours deep into a stream, you definitely feel it.
Yeah.
You feel
yeah.
that like...
Yeah.
It's really hard to explain. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I could explain it to someone.
Me either, because I never expected that to be a thing. Like I could sit down, like you said, and play a game for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, however many hours it may be, and not think twice about it. But you get 4 hours into a stream, and you're kind of like, right? I guess it's the thing where, like, if you're playing by yourself, you could pause or wait in the lobby if it's like some kind of multiplayer game and go get something to eat and go.
And I've
hang
also
out for a
I've
little
ran
bit.
into times when, because I stream for a minimum of 4 hours. That's like my goal is when I
Right.
stream at least 4 hours.
Right.
Because I find that things don't really start happening until the 2 hour mark.
That's fair.
The
Yeah.
first 2 hours of streaming are alone, and
Yeah.
then people trickle in around the 2 hour mark.
Yeah.
And then I hang out with them for 2 hours.
That's right.
But if the game is not going well, or it's just like a bad night of gaming, and you're at like that 1 hour 30 mark, and you're streaming, and you're like, oh man, I have to do this for at least 2.5 more hours.
And then you don't want to play anymore, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it feels like a chore.
And then it feels like a
right?
chore.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you weren't streaming and you're like, oh, tonight kind of sucks, I'm just gonna watch Netflix.
Exactly.
You stop and you go watch Netflix.
Yeah.
But when you're streaming, you're like, I have to grind out this 2.5 hours.
100%.
And then
And-
your mood goes down, and then you just are not as energetic or entertaining at that
Absolutely.
point.
So it's something like, I guess, you need to really weigh those pros and cons of streaming before you actually start it, and just make sure that it's something that you really want to do, because it can it can be draining.
Yeah.
For sure, right? And a big part of that, just I guess before we jump off of this topic, is like one of the important things about streaming, especially if you want to gain followers and you want to grow an audience and you want to have the same people that you spoke with, you make connections with, come back, is you want to maintain a schedule, right? So like if my schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? That's my schedule. I just changed it recently. So it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's what I do. But if on a Wednesday, which is a stream day, if I'm like 2 hours before a stream and I'm like just not feeling it, man, it starts to feel like I got to go to work.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean? Like if you,
It's the
but
worst.
if you like, let's say you're, even if you're like still in high school or whatever, you're in high school, so you go to school at something like 8 to 3 or whatever it may be, right? Then you get home at 3:30 or 4. Then you have a bite to eat, and it's 5 o'clock. Then you start streaming at 6. It's like, man, you've been up since like 7, and you haven't stopped. You got up, got to school, did school all day, got home, got something to eat. Now you need to stream, and then all of a sudden it's a 4 or 5 hour stream, and it's like, man, I should probably get to bed now because I got to get up again at 7 tomorrow. And it's like that can become a thing. So you just need to, because maintaining a schedule is so important. Like that's like as far as like tips go when it comes to streaming, maintaining a schedule is like A1.
yeah, you
Or 1A, I
absolutely
guess.
must have a schedule.
Yeah, like
And
it's,
it can
it's
be
super
really,
important.
it can at first be really hard to maintain that.
Very much.
And
yeah.
I am definitely really bad at keeping up with the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple of weeks have been really bad, mostly because work has been a crunch because
Right.
catching up with things with the whole world problem
the
right
whole
now.
world problem. Yeah.
So
yeah,
this entire week I didn't stream at all.
That's right. Yeah, and
And-
it's tough.
And
right?
that's another thing to consideration. Like it feels really bad
right.
to
yeah.
miss.
It does, because then you feel like you're letting people down. Especially like even if you get that one person you don't know, who you're like, let's say you stream Monday and Tuesday, and you stream Monday, and that person's in. You guys had a great chat. You're like, sick man, I'm back on tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. He's like, yeah, dude, I'll be there. I can't wait. And then it's Tuesday, and you're like, I don't have it in me to do it today. And then it's like, man, but that person's probably like, man, when is he coming on? I thought he was going to be on tonight. But then what's going to happen if you're not on your schedule? He's going to go find someone else to watch.
Yeah, and that's exactly what
Right.
happens.
Right.
You will have regulars. You'll miss a couple days,
Yeah.
and you will never see them again.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of heartbreaking because
Oh, it sucks. It's
At,
terrible.
like-
yeah.
at my size, like I don't have a lot of regulars.
Well, that's just it. I mean, me either. So like, but you start to feel some kind of a duty to those, even if it's 5 people
Yeah.
that support you, that are there most streams, and you don't know them personally. Like, it's not one of your friends.
Yeah.
You feel a bit of a duty. It's like, man, I've gotten messages in my Discord being like, Shady, it's Sunday. How come you're not on? And it's just like,
Because I'm sleeping.
'cause I just don't have it in me. Like, it's a thing, right? And I guess one last thing before we do jump off this topic is, I think a huge tip, and I wish I had known this before I started streaming, is if you're going to start streaming and you're like super gung-ho about it and you're like, man, I can do this, it's all I want, I'm super passionate about it, like, and you're gonna go 5 days a week, go 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Make your schedule, like, tell your viewers you stream half as much as you say you do, right? Like, if you there's extensions you can put on Twitch and stuff that has your actual schedule. And I think they just added a thing where you can actually put your schedule in Twitch itself.
Yeah, that's
right?
a really awesome feature.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But if you want to stream, like, I'll use myself as an example for what I did and then what I wish I did. When I started streaming, I went Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So that was what I was going to start doing. And some weeks I hit it, some weeks I didn't. I wish I had just said every Monday and Friday.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wish that's all I did. So it's like, but then if I'm on Wednesday and those people happen to see me, then great. But if they don't, they're not expecting me.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. But as long as I stream Monday and Friday, I'm good.
Yeah, and
Right?
maintaining that schedule is more important than streaming as much as physically possible.
100%. If your schedule is only 1 day a week. Hey guys, every Wednesday, 6 to 10, I'm on.
Yeah.
But then you're also on Monday, Friday, and Sunday, then that's great. But whatever you put out to the public or to your new viewers as your schedule, you start to feel a duty to keep that.
Yeah, and you build a routine.
Exactly.
Having a routine is essential.
Very important. So if you only commit to the 1 or 2 days, way easier. Way easier. And it just relieves a lot of pressure from yourself because, friends, trust me, even if you are not taking it seriously and you only want to stream for fun, you're going to feel pressure from it, especially when you start getting new viewers and new followers in your stream. And even if you're only getting 3 or 4 viewers, you're going to start feel pressure to go online for those people. So committing your schedule to less than what you're actually streaming, I think, is like 1,000 IQ.
Yeah,
like, I wish I had
absolutely.
done that from the get-go, because when I first started streaming, I burnt myself out super quick. I had too many streams of, man, no one's here tonight. This sucks. This is so irritating. And then that led to me missing days I had scheduled, right? So, like, that whole thing, just like, all those things combined led to me burning myself out on streaming and being like, I'm taking 2 weeks off from doing it altogether. Yeah, so that's basically as far as that topic goes, right? I guess what we want to move on to is what to do before streaming for the first time. So you've decided to start streaming, like, you're committed, you're good to go. What do you think are the things you have to do, or you should do, let's say, the week leading up to your first stream? Like, what's some things that you want to, programs you want to look into, ideas, what do you want to have in place, what gear do you want to have, like, these kind of things. So what do you want to get into before you actually start streaming day one?
That's a great topic. I'm just trying to think back of what I thought of back then. So I built up my gear for at least 2 years before I started streaming. Because
With the goal of streaming? Or?
with the goal of streaming.
Right, okay, right.
I thought I would not take 2 years to actually hit that streaming button, but you know.
Here we are.
Here we are. So I think this is going to be a little bit subjective as well.
Of course.
Because
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I am a very visual person, and I like making things look and sound really good. So which I think was a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have spent so much time trying to make it. I don't know. I sunk a bunch of money into all my gear before I ever streamed.
Right.
So if I streamed that first time and was like, I hate this, I'm out all that money.
Right.
So I think there's a balance you have to find to where the quality is good, but not invest a whole bunch of money until you know that you're like, a couple weeks in, maybe a couple months in, you're like, I actually really love this.
Right.
Now it's the time to drop all this cash
Right.
on nice camera, nice mic.
Right.
And there's a lot of inexpensive things you can do.
Right. Which
to,
is like
So I think on that, so don't do what I did by going gung-ho for your first stream.
right.
Like, get something good,
Mm-hmm.
stream for a couple months, and then if you still really love it, then start, like, putting the money in improving one piece at a time.
Right. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think, and like, I mean, you have, like, for people, I guess, I mean, most of you guys probably wouldn't know, but so, like, Brant does have the benefit of, like, you are a photographer, you do audio engineering,
Yeah.
you're a tech nerd,
So
right? Like, you
yeah.
have reason to have a DSLR camera and have good audio gear. So it's not like you weren't, like, if you didn't enjoy streaming, you had a use for these other things if streaming wasn't a thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right?
But
And if
I
you-
also didn't have to buy a cam link
No,
to use that camera.
Very, very
'cause
true.
that's-
And, like, if someone has the means to do it and they want, like, I mean, you guys can spend your money whatever the fuck you want. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you guys have the means to do it, then, like, go ahead.
Absolutely,
Right?
just do it.
I know when I started, like, I didn't have the means to, like, buy, or no, I just, like, didn't have the means, but also had no idea even what a DSLR camera was, or that you even needed a cam link. Like, I didn't know shit about shit, right? Nothing. So I watched some YouTube videos, watched some other streamers, watched some streamers who are, like, not gigantic but doing fairly well, and tried to get in their chat and just ask them some questions. A lot of streamers have in, like, their in their panels underneath their
gear
stream,
list.
their gear list.
Yeah.
So looking at stuff like that, and very, very quickly you'll learn Logitech C920. It's like what every early
yeah.
streamer has, and they're not that expensive.
Just buy one of those, buy a USB Yeti.
Exactly.
And you're laughing.
Which is exactly what I bought a Blue Yeti. I bought a C920.
Yeah.
And I bought this, like, $8 mic stand that I still use today. That is fucking horrific, but I had to get some kind of mic stand because the Blue Yeti comes with, like, I had to get a boom arm, because the Blue Yeti comes with, like, a little mic stand that sits on your desk.
Yeah, a little desk stand.
But I have a mechanical keyboard that, like, wakes the fucking neighbors. It's so loud. So the vibration was like every time I clicked a button. So I was like, well, I can't do that. So I had to get it at least off the desk. So I got this, like, the cheapest thing you could buy on Amazon. And
Absolutely.
I probably shouldn't have cheaped out on that thing, but I did. You know what I mean? And it's like, it was like $100 for the camera, $100 for the microphone, $8 for the
and that right there is the cost of a cam link.
Well, so there's where you're getting into the yes, exactly. I get what you're saying,
Like,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's a couple things, like, you don't need to break the bank kind of thing, right? Like, if you have a minimum wage job, you can put aside a couple bucks a paycheck and just save up and get one thing at a time. Like, you can start off streaming with just that C920, which, like, on sale on Amazon you can get for, like, $70 Canadian.
Yeah,
which
like,
is
the
like,
price of those are really good.
yeah,
and
like, especially
more
on sale. And, like, in
companies-
America,
yeah.
that'd be like $4. But you can get just the camera, and then whatever your headset is, you can use that microphone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need the great stuff. I think that I do strongly believe that if you have a decent camera, a decent microphone, straight out of the gate that sets you above 80% of the new streamers that are out there.
Absolutely.
So I think they're like that. Let's go. Let's price it over what it probably is, and let's say $300. For that $300 investment, you're setting yourself so far above a huge amount of the using their laptop webcam and the Xbox headset that comes in. You know what I mean? You're setting yourself very high above all that kind of stuff.
On the topic of that, like, you can make a C920 look really good with proper lighting.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Don't buy those Elgato light panels. No. They're like $200 a piece.
You don't need to.
I get it. You can set your Stream Deck to change the mood, but it's just they're so expensive. Whereas like these guys, for the audio listeners, I'm pointing at my Amazon floodlight things. They're $15 a pop.
Right.
And you can light your scene so well.
And this podcast doesn't look too bad.
It doesn't look too bad. My stream looks amazing.
Your stream looks amazing. Your stream looks very, very good.
I'm hiding behind. So I have to because I'm still learning to be entertaining as a person on camera. So I'm kind of hiding behind that wall,
this facade of really good
high quality camera and stuff. Which don't do unless you just have like fucking money pouring out your pockets.
If you have the means to do it, then go ahead, right? But I do think that there is value in putting yourself at least with. Again, it's not a huge investment. I know some people can't afford that, and if you can't afford it, then that's totally fine. And if you want to stream, just fucking stream, dude.
Just stream.
Just do it.
I think that is the most important thing. If you want to start streaming, just start streaming within your means.
100%.
That's a mistake I made couple plus years ago. I was like, I want to be a streamer, but I'm going to spend years getting all the gear. Exactly. I should have just started and that's just to practice.
Yeah, but if you can, check out that C920, get a Blue Yeti or a Snowball or something like that, just a USB microphone. Doesn't have to be a Blue, just a USB microphone just make sure it's reviewed half decent. And that C920 is 100% what every single person is going to recommend to get as your first camera. Yeah. If you can grab both of those, you're good. You're good to go. And just do that. But outside of that, I think once you get past that audio and that video thing, what do you think as far as what are your options when it comes to what platform do you stream? Not platform. Do you use OBS? Do you use slobs? Do you use something else? What do you think as far as all that stuff goes?
I started with slobs.
Right.
Because I have the Streamlabs.
And slobs is what?
Streamlabs OBS. Okay. So it's their proprietary. It's not proprietary. Everything's built off OBS. I recently switched from Streamlabs OBS to just OBS. What's the
OBS Studio?
OBS Studio.
Yeah.
Because hey, Streamlabs, give us plugin support for slobs. Right. Why would you disable that? That's literally the only reason why I switched, because I use a lot of plugins for OBS, and that's how, if you ever seen my stream and you pop in, I have 3D things happening, and that's just a plugin. And it just boggles my mind that Streamlabs disabled that within their OBS.
And there's other options outside of OBS Studio is what I use as well, and then Streamlabs OBS is probably the next most popular.
Yeah, and then there's OBS Live, which is Stream Elements version of it, but they retain the plugin support. Right. They don't really add a lot in it.
And that's kind of the three, right? And
then there's XSplit, which I haven't. I don't know one streamer that uses XSplit, and there's one more. Doesn't matter. Yeah. In my humble opinion, just use classic OBS Studio.
OBS Studio. So that's what I use as well. I think that's what most people use. Yeah. I do know a lot. I think for the streamer just getting started, Streamlabs, slobs might be a little bit user friendly and a little bit easier to set up.
Having stream labels and all that alerts built in is really convenient.
It is for sure,
but it's not that hard.
No, well, and that's what I was going to say is before, if you are convinced, you've convinced yourself to go and you're going to do it, just like check out a few YouTube videos,
Yeah.
right? Like we don't really. I mean, we can plug people if you want.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
Like,
so we can
streaming
like
careers,
gaming
Harris
careers.
Harris Heller.
Yeah, gaming careers and alpha gaming would
Alpha
be like
gaming.
the two that are like gaming careers, alpha gaming would be the two that are like the best YouTube channels that I've seen of like everything from I'm curious about streaming, what do I need, and then all the gear that we're talking about, how to get going, and they can help you set up your OBS. Check out those guys and just let them kind of base. That's what I did. Just walk you through the tutorial. Like when I first wanted to stream, and I heard that OBS was a thing, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Right. So like the game, I used the Gaming Careers YouTube channel to set up my entire stream. I learned everything about OBS, the Blue Yeti, the C920.
His tutorials are incredible, and that's like I used his tutorial for doing my Stinger transition.
Right.
So I actually animated my own Stinger transition in After Effects, following his tutorial.
Right. Absolutely, and it's great. Right. And then I think so you're ready to go. Look at all that kind of stuff. You have your gear. Your platform is set up. I think what's something that you really need to do is like, again, before you launch that stream the first time, I think it's better. Like I know you said you kind of like over prepared.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely
before streaming.
Over prepared.
But I think there is like a few things that you want to do as far as I think you want to set up your alerts, test them, you can. Through Twitch anyway, you can add something to your stream key, which makes you be able to stream, but no one can see that you're live.
In OBS now, you don't have to do that. There's a button.
Okay, perfect.
So you don't even have to append the thing to your stream key anymore.
Perfect.
You can just click a button for the test mode.
Right. Yeah, like throw a test on, test all your alerts, put something in there that's like not just the bling and a zombie walking. That's just like, you know what I mean? That's just like the base thing that comes up for every alert when you first put Streamlabs into your OBS. Yeah. Or go through slots.
Yeah, with your alerts, you can do any video, any sound effect. Like find something that like reflects
that's what I think you want to do. Like I think you want to do something that just relates to you as a person. Yeah. Right? Something that makes you a little bit more unique, right? Like when you first start, if someone hits that follow button, they probably don't want to hear that same sound and see that same GIF of the 16-bit zombie walking. Yeah, like that's the thing.
We've seen that enough.
So it can be like go to Giphy. Yeah, and search something that you're interested in, whether it's anime or music or working on cars or sports, whatever it may be. Put something in there that's a little bit unique. Like if you're a baseball fan, have a GIF of someone hitting a home run and the crowd cheering. Yeah. Right?
Exactly. That's perfect.
Exactly. Like you know what I mean? Like, and then, hey, why'd you have a Boston Red Sox player hitting a home run? And it's like, well, then all of a sudden you have a conversation with someone about baseball because you're a baseball fan. Yeah. Same thing applies to whatever your interest may be. Just take that time. Like, I think there's so much value. And, like, I think I just took a day. Like, one afternoon and evening of just editing the sound clips, which I should say, anyone that's interested, I use a program called Clip Grab. And it's just a program that you can search any YouTube video and grab the audio from it.
Oh, cool.
I just use that, and then you can trim it down through anything through like VLC Media Player or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what I started off using. I use an actual audio editing thing now, but like I used VLC initially and hit record and stop on like the seconds, and like you can figure it out, right? Just use some short audio clip and some short either picture or GIF or whatever it may be, something that makes you a little bit unique and just something that's specifically to you as a streamer. Yeah. Just so people who come in, because sometimes people come in and they watch you for 10 seconds and you're streaming some game that just no one really streams, so they're following everybody that streams that game. So there's a lot of value in just making something that is unique to you, and it can be literally anything. Just don't. I think it's detrimental to yourself to use the default stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's worth taking that day or an hour a day for a week or for the weekend, whatever it may be,
And
just
if you're
to frig around.
And if you're a creative person who knows how to use editing software and stuff, go nuts with it.
100% get
Go
creative.
nuts with it.
Well, that's the place where you can start to get creative,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you are an artistic person, or you know graphic design, or you know audio engineering, you know anything like that, you can start to have an absolute ball. Like, it might be number one as far as like what to do before you start streaming is just learn the software you're using.
Yeah, absolutely.
Understand how they work, and then put something in there that's unique to you.
Yeah.
And then, like, if it doesn't work, then, like, so be it. You don't want to pretend to be somebody else just to get an extra viewer anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the thing, right? Is you just need to be who you are. I mean, like, you can try and make a character if you want. And if you have the ability to act and be that character for the whole thing, then,
That's a good point, is being yourself versus being a character. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Like-
like obviously Doc is killing it as a character.
Doc would be the number one. Like, him and Tyler 1 would be the number one characters, I
Yeah.
think, on Twitch.
Yeah, and that's the
right?
thing. If you're gonna be a character, you have to commit to that 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
But
a
that's-
character when you're at cons. You're a character,
That's tough.
and that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not gonna commit to a character,
But
just be yourself.
I think you should just be yourself, because and like, more so what I was thinking, like, if you're a good actor and you can do the whole thing like someone like Doc can, then that's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. Like, if you can do that and you want to do that, then hell yeah, more power to you. Again,
Yeah.
be artistic, be creative. That's most of the point of the platform, right? Is for some people to be creative. But if you're a chill, quiet person, don't pretend to be super excited.
Yeah, no, be a
Also-
chill, quiet. There's a
Yeah.
lot of big,
100%.
chill, quiet. And
But if you're a super hype person and when you play games you get super into it, don't try to don't tame yourself.
no, yeah, exactly.
Like, if you play games and you get mad when you play and you die or something happens, then get mad. Just, you know what I mean? Just like keep in mind TOS. I guess, right?
don't be afraid to let your inner self out.
I guess with the footnote of, unless you're trying to be some character where you're
Yeah.
acting the entire time, just be yourself. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. With the footnote of, if you're acting to be a character, then
And don't break TOS.
yes, and don't break TOS. But I think you're just devaluing your own stream if you pretend to be super hyped up when you're just not
Yeah.
a person that gets super hyped up.
Because that your true, that sounds so corny. Your true inner self, when you get more comfortable and you have viewers, is going to come out.
Listen, dude, like, it's easy. Like, in a YouTube video, it's easy. Like, if you want to be a YouTuber and pretend to be hyper, then fucking go for it. That's super easy, because you can pretend for 8 seconds 30 times and edit it all together, and that's great. But live streaming is live streaming. You can't edit that.
No.
And if you're pretending to be something you're not, it's gonna show through. It's
Yeah.
going to. Like, even Doc has broken character at points in times. I mean, they were for super serious things. We won't get into that, but, like,
You don't want to spill the tea?
I mean,
The Hotfix Podcast?
We just don't need to talk about it because it's been
It's
beaten.
it's a
at
dead
this point.
horse.
But yeah, it's just going to show through. Like I'm not super excited. I do get into things, there's no doubt. But if I get into something, I make sure I don't hold back because I'm into it. But if I'm not feeling like getting excited, I don't pretend to get excited.
Don't force yourself to get excited.
Dude, it's just like it comes off as fake, and people are going to see through it 100%. So just be who you are, and let the chips fall where they may.
There's
I
a lot.
suppose,
There's
right?
a lot of viewers.
Yes.
Like the people
Yes,
that want to see the
exactly.
chill dude are gonna find the chill dude or dudette.
100%.
And people want to see the crazy ragers.
Yeah.
Like there's enough viewers to go around.
Like, I don't enjoy watching super hype streamers. Like, it's too loud, and
Same.
I'm an old man, and I have no time. I'm just like, I can't listen to you screaming anymore.
Yeah,
and I have friends of mine who are streamers, and they get super hype, and that's great. And they do, a lot of them do better than I do, which is, I mean, like, more power to them. They're fucking amazing. I love them to death, but I can't watch them for a long period of time. So it's like I can't take.
It's
I can't take the
exhausting.
screen. It is exhausting. But then on the other side, I'm sure there are people who are like, "Man, this guy just hit this nutty snipe shot," and
his
didn't react
reaction
to it at all.
was that was
Nice.
good. That was a sick shot.
Exactly.
Nice.
And they're like, "What the fuck? This is stupid. I'm here to get hype. I'm trying to show my friends why Twitch is sick, and this is what I turn on." Is this guy's like,
I want to see
that's
some
cool.
broken keyboards.
Yeah, exactly. Like, some people want to see that, and some. I mean, there's a market for all that kind of stuff. So just be true, be you, dude.
Be true, be you. I like it.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
Dude,
I
the
think
title of the podcast, Be
Be
True,
True,
Be
Be
You.
You.
Boom.
2020, dude.
Done.
Let's go.
Gonzo. Omega lol.
Then then you kick off your streaming. You're kind of good to go. Let me ask you something now. Did you fall into the stream team thing? Did you were you a victim of the stream team?
So the whole social circle, L for L, lurk for lurk, follow for follow thing, yes.
Yeah, me too.
It is rampant on Mixer.
Yeah, did you fall into it?
Oh, yeah. I was in 2
Yeah, okay,
communities
yeah.
where, like, at first, oh, man, we're going to get, like, the full social circle
Yeah, let's talk about
discussion
it.
right now.
Let's do it.
Oh, man. Okay, so just don't.
All right, it's done. Next topic.
There's so many social circles where
Right.
like some big streamer is gonna have a community. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like it's kind of like an MLM.
What's an MLM?
A multi-level marketing scheme.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
looks
yeah.
they sucker you in to like be some of the part of this grander thing,
Right.
And you're gonna get big and rich off of it. But at the end of the day, you're just there to help
the machine.
help the streamer at the top,
Right,
the streamer
yeah.
that started it.
So do you know like the small streamers group? Like that was like
Oh, yeah.
SSG was like a thing? No? That might have been that I think it's
Was
dead.
that is that a Twitch one?
It was,
because I
yeah.
only experienced this on Mixer, so I
Okay.
know like the Mixer
Okay.
ones.
So small streamers group was like the biggest follow for like stream team thing that existed when I first started streaming. And it was like, if you use hashtag support small streamers,
Yeah.
then you'll get whatever. And it was this kind of thing. And I fell into that 100% and ended up linking up with this dude who was like close to the top of the SSG small streamers group thing, but he was breaking off and starting his own thing. Right?
It's
So I was
literally
like-
the exact same experience.
So I jumped off with this person, and we started this thing, or he started him and this other girl started this thing. Now, bless them, they were super, super nice people. I still talk to them to this day. Like, they weren't malicious in any way.
Yeah.
But they were trying to do it differently so it actually helped everybody.
My story is literally word for word exactly the same.
Okay, right.
Joined a quote unquote bigger one with a big Mixer partner streamer. I'm not going to name any names.
No, me either. Yeah.
And then I got really close with this one guy in it, and then he broke off. He quit the group. I quit the group. I joined his thing, and it was just literally rinse, wash, and repeat, the exact same thing.
Exactly. So
Don't get into social circles.
No.
Don't do follow for follow. Don't do lurk for lurk stuff.
The thing is like if you'll meet, so I guess this is a double-edged sword. This how it worked out for me, because let's say I don't know what the actual numbers are, but let's say that group that broke off had 100 super active users, and it probably was pretty close to that of like really active, like hanging out in each other's streams and doing becoming part of each other's community, and which is the idea, right?
We're a community, and
Yes.
we're gonna better
Help out.
ourselves.
We're all gonna grow together.
AKA, we're just gonna lurk each other and inflate each other's numbers.
Exactly, and it does nothing. until most of them quit streaming.
Yeah.
And then you follow a bunch of people who you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy broke off, started this his own little, what do you call it, social circle thing.
Yeah.
There's definitely somewhere around 100 active users, and it just most people will be gung ho initially, so you're going to get this false sense of how successful your stream is getting.
Yeah, and it feels good because your
because
viewership...
there's 12 people watching.
Yeah.
Like you went from 1 and then you joined the social circle and now there's 12 or 15 viewers. Yeah. And it's like it's this very, very false sense of progression that won't last, because I don't know what the actual percentage of streamers who start streaming and end up quitting within the first year, but it has to be 85%
I imagine
or more.
It's pretty high.
It has to be huge. So most of those people will stop streaming, or they'll become serious about it and they spend time working on their own stream, not watching 15 different streamers, not just lurking and just popping out the stream and minimizing it and setting it to 180p and muting it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like you're like it's false success.
Yeah.
Right? It's just something that you shouldn't do, because you're gonna give yourself this sense that you're progressing, and it's not gonna last, and then it's gonna fall off and it's gonna feel really, really shitty.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be like
Your lurkers...
you'll look at your analytics and you'll be like if you're like me, like I get fucking obsessed with these numbers, how many people are watching, which is a bad thing to do, and we can talk about that super quick in just a second.
Yeah.
But you'll look at your analytics and be like, okay, in December I averaged 3.2 viewers, but then I joined that social circle, and then January I averaged 8, then in February I averaged 11.5. You're like, these months are great. Look at this growth. That means by August I'm gonna be averaging 90.
But then
in April you're averaging 1.3.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, fuck. And then it's super deflating and it feels absolutely terrible. And it's very, like, you're going to end up digging yourself into a hole that's mentally very hard to get out of, especially if you're taking it seriously.
Yeah. And a lot of people defend the social circle thing because they know that those numbers are inflated and not right.
Right.
But the argument is, well, while you're here, you're going to have 12, 15, 20 viewers. You might not. That's going to put you higher on the higher. And
maybe you'll get some organic views.
It's going to bring you higher,
yeah.
And you're going to get more viewers that way. It doesn't work out that way.
But where do you sit if you had, let's say you have 20 viewers because of this social circle. Let's say 3 of them are organic, and the other 17 are from this social circle. And then you stream League of Legends. Where do you sit in that?
Yeah, you're
thing?
Still super low.
You're still 10 pages down.
And people and lurkers, they don't chat. People notice when you have 20 viewers and nobody's chatting.
And nobody's chatting. Absolutely.
A random person coming in being your 21st viewer without a chat going, very likely is not gonna stir up a conversation.
Well, it's like having 100,000 Instagram followers and getting 28 likes on a photo.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's that type of thing. It's just like it's this weird false sense of success and progression. Like, hey, look, I have 500 followers, but then you're averaging 2.5 viewers, and it's like, well, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Like the people who matter, or like, you know what I mean? If you're trying to make some kind of career or some kind of career, if you're trying to make a career or a career, if you're trying to take it seriously, it's gonna come back to bite you, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I think if you have an inkling to lean towards the follow these social circle things, is maybe you're better off just reaching out to a couple of other streamers who you think have a like-minded personality or stream similar games and become part of their community. I think that's the better move because
as part of the networking thing as well.
Like networking is valuable,
And
but
like,
follow for follow and lurk for lurk is not networking. It's lazy.
Don't cross. Yeah, network, talk to other streamers, and like join the community and like talk to them.
Right.
But don't cross that line into
It's
follow.
It's just a bait. It's an easy bait, and it like you mentioned earlier. It might have been off cam, but you mentioned earlier that it was it's just to benefit the person at the top.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you're just you're working for someone at that point, and that's not what you should be doing. Find a couple of streamers. Like if you play whatever game it may be, find some people who are in the same viewer range as you. You know what I mean? If you average 3 viewers, find someone who has 6 viewers. Pop into their stream. If they have decent quality, decent audio, they have the same kind of things that you have. Like they kind of obviously are putting a little bit of effort into it as well. Chat with them.
Yeah.
See if you vibe with them as on their personality. Make connections that way. It's a little bit more effort, but it pays off way longer in the way that during that social circle thing that I fell into, I've ended up with like 3 or 4 like genuine friends now. But that's because I went to their streams and became part. Like I did.
Yeah.
Like I met them through
exactly.
that, which is fair enough. So I guess that's like. Well, you can't say it's all shitty because there is pros to it. There's no doubt, right? There's something to it that obviously lures people in, but the good that came out of it was because of the extra effort I put in from people who I found interesting or I liked them just as a person, and I grew that relationship. But I just happened to meet them through that social circle, right? So that's the best way to do it, and those efforts that I put in have paid off, not only in them being like genuine friends now, but then like some of those dudes have done way better than I have. Like some of them are averaging 20 something viewers and they're doing friggin' great, right? And every now and then you'll get a raid from them and you'll get that kind of stuff. You get their followers and they'll shout you out on Twitter or whatever it may be, and that just pays off way more in the long run than these social circles, especially if you want to take this seriously and you want it to be something that grows organically and have genuine followers who look forward to the next time that you stream.
Exactly. And one more point on this. I know it's cool to have high viewers. My highest is 50 viewers, which was awesome, but there's no chatters. Right. Because it's all part of this. Everything we've been talking about, it's been part of that. Lurkers, other streamers, just lurk in your chat. It feels way better to have 5 viewers and 5 people chatting than it does to have 50 viewers and 0 people chatting.
That's agree. I agree with that 100%. I've been streaming for 2 years, and I've been obviously like you'll see, and I'm sure everyone who's watching this, or at least a lot of people who's watching this, have been watching other streamers when they all of a sudden they get someone that donates them 200 subs or gifts 200 subs, or they get rated randomly. Like you're a person who streams to 10 viewers and then Ninja raids you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that happens, but that's like on Twitch, that's like winning the lottery. Like I've been streaming for 2 years. I've never been rated by anything any more than 15. Like I've never, the most viewers I think I've ever had is probably 24, 25. I've never ever been rated by a big streamer of even 100. Not that
you haven't been rated
not yet.
yet.
No, and that's fair enough. Like I'm like it'll probably happen eventually, but it's like it's just I don't think that's an outlier thing again, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's
Don't rely on getting rated and now you're famous.
Exactly. It's just not going to happen.
And also rating, even with big numbers, don't always result in anything.
But also if you look at your analytics and you streamed every day in a month, and for 29 of those days you had 4 viewers, and then one day you had 1,200 viewers, that's like okay, that person obviously got rated.
Yeah.
Like, and like, but you also find with those things, I've been in streams where people get rated by someone with 500 viewers and they only have 8, and they still only get like 12, 13 follows.
It's a very small percentage because when someone else's like audience goes to someone else, unless that new person is like the same person
and hypes you up big time before you even go.
Because all those viewers are watching that the hoster
for a reason.
And then they go to the hostee and it's a different person, I've been in so many situations where a broadcaster has kicked us over to a new channel and it's like, you're slightly different than what I was watching, goodbye.
Right, absolutely. Yes. No, exactly. And that happens. So it's just like, yeah, you can get, I've seen people that's like, I was just going to say, if you get someone to get rated for 500, get 16 follows, and maybe they'll retain one. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, probably not. because those, on those days, that person that hosted you, they stream on that day. And that viewer watches that person on that day. So like it doesn't pay off.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's value.
You're not gonna make a streaming career because you got hosted by a big person.
No, definitely not.
It's exciting in the moment.
It is. Yeah.
But don't bank on those being
the follow, the lurk for lurk, the hoping for a big raid, the if I could just get hosted by Ninja or by Shroud or whatever it may be.
It'll make my career.
Mixer streamers, by the way, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of like the big guys. If you could, then that's all I need. If I could just get exposure to those 8,000 people, they'll all love. It's like no. Those people already watch someone, so don't bank on something like that.
You got to spend the time. You got to grind it out. You got to build your own audience.
Exactly, right?
And that's how you're gonna.
It's the only way to do it, and that's why we
streamer.
said earlier about making sure you do something that's unique to you. Like, be yourself, be your own person, show people your personality and why people like match up with viewers that want to talk about the stuff you're interested in or like the way that you play. Don't worry about them liking the way someone else plays, because if they like the way someone else plays, they're gonna go watch them.
Exactly.
Right? That's just all there is to it, right? So I think and people will jump into it with this mentality of, okay, if I'll be this type of thing. I'll be that type of person. I can be that streamer, that YouTuber that I like. But if you're not that person, just don't do it. Just be yourself. And there's a pile of viewers. There's a pile of viewers to go around for everybody. Just be your own person. Work at it as hard as you can. Be creative. Do something unique. And those viewers will come. If they don't, then maybe streaming's not for you. You know what I mean? And that's just, but if streaming's not for you as far as viewers grow, and you still want to do it, that's fine. And you just do it for fun. Go for it. That's
there's
great.
a lot of people that just do it for
Freaking
them,
awesome, dude.
for their
Absolutely.
friends.
But if you're trying to grow it as a business or as a brand, or you're trying to make money or make it a career, and over the course of X amount of years, there's just zero growth, then just like...
Yeah. And that also brings up the topic of offline content.
And that's another thing, right? If you want to be a career streamer, you've heard this 1,000 times. The discoverability on Twitch is just horrendous.
You got to go somewhere else to build an audience where it's discoverable.
It's almost like we started a podcast for that reason.
Shh, don't let the people know.
The secret's out, dude.
Yeah. It's not a big secret.
No.
You gotta build an audience somewhere else. If you stream every day on Twitch, 10 hours a day to 0 viewers, that isn't gonna magically go above 0 viewers.
It's very, very tough. Again, there's outliers that we talked at the top of the podcast. Someone like Chaco, he didn't have any other social medias that had any kind of relevance at all, but he got very lucky. But that's winning the lottery. That's getting struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Don't go into it with, well, maybe that'll happen to me. Assume it's not going to happen.
Assume it's not. Do what you have to do to make it happen.
Exactly. 'Cause
even if that means stepping out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
If you're not taking a risk, you're not doing anything.
Pretty much it. That's it. So as we get out of that, we wanted to touch briefly, like the idea when this, as far as this podcast goes. So we do want to get into topics like what we spoke about, but we also want to jump into just what we've been doing streaming.
Yeah.
And we want to just touch on a couple other things as we're going on, just to kind of fill people in on where we sit and all that kind of thing. So did you want to talk about what's been going on with your stream? I know you mentioned like earlier, like you hadn't streamed this week because of work, which is fine. But maybe we can more so talk about what you're hoping to achieve in 2020.
Yeah.
Like what's
I guess, yeah.
Come Christmas, right? What are you hoping? Where are you hoping to sit as far as your streaming?
Yeah. So the hardest thing for me for this last, I guess, 6 months is figuring out what I want to be as a streamer. I know when I first thought of being a streamer, I was like, I'm going to be a Halo streamer. Halo is like, my whole background is in Halo, as competitive Halo 2, Halo 3 player. It's like, I'm going to be a Halo streamer. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start setting up my audience to have a little bit of a basis when Infinite drops in probably November. Nobody knows yet.
Yeah.
As of the recording of this, nobody knows the actual release date. Probably November. That was the goal. But as I've been streaming and playing more, I'm really trying. I guess one of my biggest goals for the next kind of couple months is figure out, do I want to really just continue playing one game?
Right.
I feel like I've kind of outgrown trying to be a quote-unquote professional Halo player at this point.
Right, pigeonholing yourself into just Halo. Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing I'm trying to figure out for myself is, like, do I want to move into more variety streaming? And that's a lot of mental block I've had to, like, start my stream this week and last week was, like, I don't know what I want to play. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough.
So one thing I had to really figure out for myself was I don't think I'm going to go with my original plan of being a fucking hardcore Halo streamer.
Right.
I'm going to definitely play a lot when it comes out, but it's not going to be my thing.
Like you're not going to only stream Halo.
I'm not going to be a Halo streamer, just like how Ninja's a Fortnite streamer. I don't want to get stuck in that trap. And then for the next 5 years, all I can do is play Halo.
There seems to be a little bit of a it seems like it's a little bit easier to grow if you only stream one game because then you can become part of that community.
Yeah.
If all your Reddit stuff and all your Twitter stuff and all your Twitch stuff is all about one game, all about Halo, as your example is, then you become part of that community. And like the potential to grow might be higher. But then you run into that thing where you see it like I was definitely a PUBG streamer up until 2020 started. Probably like 2020 started was probably when I first started really looking to branch outside of just PUBG as far as streaming goes. And I see so many PUBG streamers, especially now that it's like really, really dying. Like it's been like the development on that game has just been like historically bad. That
Yeah.
You know, it's been dying a slow death, but it was. Did you know that PUBG is like the third most sold game of all time?
I mean, they have the money to hire good developers.
Of course, yes. and yes, they do, absolutely. But just think of the amount, like the player base was gigantic, right? So even though it was dying a slow death, the player base and viewer base was still, you know, even on Twitch 3, 4, 5, as far as the biggest game streamed on Twitch for like since 2017. Like it's maintained very, very well, even though the numbers have been dwindling. But it's gotten to the point now where it's like, okay, like without some kind of absolute Hail Mary, like 2020 will be the last year of PUBG most likely. So then you run into these issues where there's people who've made their career off of PUBG and now they're scared to stream anything else because they stream to 600 viewers, and 600 viewers is fine. I mean, you're not a millionaire where you could stop streaming and never have to work again, but you can't really afford to drop your 600 viewers down to 120 viewers.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Right? Like you're just hovering on that line of if you don't have multiple revenue streams, again, I guess we don't need to get into the nitty-gritty, but yeah, you can't afford to stop playing PUBG. So then you're just waiting for the game to completely die and no one watches it anymore, and then you're left with your dick in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I've seen that happen so much, and it's like something like Fortnite's still going fairly strong, which is great, but it's like, man, pigeonholing yourself into this one game is just like, what game has ever lasted the length of a career? Like nothing. Like
Exactly.
Counter-Strike, I guess.
Counter-Strike has
Counter-Strike,
lasted...
Dota, League of Legends would be
Yeah.
like the things probably that have like
Probably, yeah,
maintained
100%.
their like for long enough to last in a gaming career. Like if you can do 10 years on a game,
Yeah.
right? Like that, they're probably the only ones ever. And that might happen with other games as well, but you're taking a risk. You're taking a big risk getting into just one game. It's not that you can't do it or that you shouldn't do it, or if that's the only game you want to play, again, then play it. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, at
But
the end
just
of the day,
understand
it's
there's
subjective.
risks.
Like,
Yeah, it is, absolutely. But just understand that there are risks to just pigeonholing yourself into just one game.
yeah.
So you mentioned, so you were saying that you've been struggling with that. Do you want to just be Halo, or do you want to branch out into other things? You're kind of leaning more
so that was,
towards the other
figuring
things.
out, if we're talking about my goal for this, all of 2020.
That's right, yeah.
Number one was just figuring out what I would want to do on stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of been thinking about it. Recently, in the last like 6 months, got really into speedrunning.
Right, yeah.
Speedrunning is, I don't know why, I just got like so suckered into it.
Right.
So I'm going to learn some learn some speed runs and give that a try. I stream. The first one I'm going to learn is SpongeBob SquarePants and Battle for Bikini Bottom. Because A, the game is amazing, and B, the speed run, the any percent speed run, doesn't seem too difficult to learn.
Right.
They're all hard to learn, but for me, it's made sense, the controls. And I've gotten through the first 10 minutes pretty quickly.
How long is the speed run?
I think the world record's like 50 minutes for any percent.
50? Like
I
50?
don't quote me on this.
No, yeah.
Like 48, 50 minutes.
Okay, okay.
But the goal I'm going for is a sub 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
And
But
just as side, so just as a side, there's like the biggest streamer. His name is Shift. It was like last week. He put out it's a 4-hour video of the entire run explained.
Right.
And then he put out a contest for like the first 3 new people to get a sub 110.
Okay.
He's going to ship an original Xbox and an original copy of the game too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I gotta
try for it.
I gotta get that 110 and I gotta get that OG Xbox and like an original hard copy of that game. Cause I go on eBay for like, it's not a cheap game.
So what you're saying is if you won that, you'd just sell it on eBay.
No, dude, it's going on the shelf. It's gonna be on that shelf.
Dude, put it on your side, not on my side.
That's my side.
Oh, right. I don't live here.
This is producer Gabby's side.
That's right. But I think, but that would be super cool. Like, so that's the one you're committing to for the foreseeable future, I guess.
Yeah, I want to learn that 110.
Yeah. So we can expect updates.
Every week I'll update.
Sick. So come back for that, dudes, on
Yeah.
on Brandt's progression on this sub
Yeah.
110. Do you know, like, have you done a full run yet?
No, I'm learning it step by step.
Okay, step by step, and then so like within the next couple weeks, kind of thing, you'll have your first actual run and see where we're sitting.
We'll see. It might be a month.
But, no, that's fine. I mean,
like there's
listen, dude,
some of these strats take like I've practiced one of these strats for like 8 hours straight,
listen,
just
dude,
like getting the muscle.
We're all
memory.
isolated. We got nothing to do, dude. We can wait for you to figure out these strats. It's all right.
But yeah, I'm winning that Xbox.
Dude, I imagine if we started a stream or a podcast, 2 months down the road, And as it started, sitting right here was the original Xbox.
Or on the screen, I'm just gonna speak.
You're
I'm
doing
gonna
it, dude.
I'm gonna do one podcast. Is just gonna be me doing
It'll
that.
be him doing it and me talking.
I'm just gonna do the run, and you're gonna do the entire podcast.
I'll be like a sports commentator for once in my life. That'd be amazing.
We're gonna do a podcast with the OG Xbox with that copy. It's gonna be an hour. It's gonna be the speed run here, and we're gonna try to do a regular podcast.
I can't wait. I'm
gonna be
looking forward
sick.
to that. Yeah, that's sick.
It's gonna be a good one.
So further to that, before we finished off, same thing, set a couple goals for myself. And so there's a thing on Twitch where so when you become affiliated, maybe you can correct me on this. When you become affiliated, you have access to one emote. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So once you become affiliated, you have access to one emote. And then it's something like once you get 10 subscribers, I think you have access to a second emote. So the step after that, again, guys, it might be 15, it might be 8, it might be 12, it's somewhere around 10. You get access to a second emote for tier 1 subscribers, which is what 99.9% of people do, right?
Yeah.
But then 25 subscribers is the next tier for when you can get 3 emotes for tier 1 subscribers. So as of my stream yesterday, I hit 22 subscribers.
You're welcome.
I know. Thank you. Thank you. Brant was my 22nd.
Twitch Prime.
Yeah, Twitch Prime, by the way. But my biggest goal is to have, I would like to have 2 months consecutive of 25 plus subscribers. I think that's my biggest goal, because you can get like someone comes in and they're feeling super generous and they gift 10 subscribers to your channel in that month. And that's the follow for follow mentality, right? It's a false sense of success, right? It's great. I mean, and that's a false sense of success that actually gives you money, which is like better than just fake followers.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but if I could get, say, 25 subscribers and then the gift bomb dies off, but then the next month I still have 25 subscribers, then I think you start to feel like, okay, maybe I'm actually doing something.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what I'm going for. I think I'm still searching for wait, maybe this is actually working. I think that's the biggest thing that's like the apple for Adam and Eve. You know what I mean? Like I've been just reached for that thing that can just like make me truly believe that what I'm doing actually has value and people genuinely care about it, and there is that that want for the product that I'm putting out.
Yeah.
Right? So
I think that's a really reasonable and good goal to have.
Exactly, right? So that 25 subscriber mark, which is great because it's 3 emotes for my subscribers, and like the more stuff we can give subscribers is great, right? Like someone is genuinely giving me their money for something they can get for free, right? So like that just like means the absolute world. Like it's such a boost of confidence and such a just that feeling again of that, man, I'm actually giving value to somebody for what I'm doing, right? So because that 25 mark is the mark where you can get that 30 emote, and the emote that I have ready for it is friggin' hilarious. Like I really, really, really like it. It's like it's the madam with the dude tilting the neckbeard,
Like
dude tilting the fedora.
My lady.
Exactly. Yes, that thing. Exactly. So it's that, but it's like a cartoon version of me. Right? So it's just like me in a cartoon version tipping a fedora, which is hilarious, and it really fits in because my stream chat went on this like huge rant for an entire week about this whole me being that guy. Right? 'Cause
Yeah.
I must have said madam at some point, or milady, or some kind of like some kind of super
You say
cringy.
it once and then you're just
Yes,
fucked.
exactly. I said some kind of super neckbeard thing that came across that way, and then the chat just ran with it, and I just decided to make it into an emote, which is like what we just talked about. Do something that's unique to your channel.
Let
right?
me guess. A machete?
That's what it is.
I don't know. He told me earlier.
Yeah, that's right. that is what it is.
I like it though. It's clever.
Dude, I like it a lot. So like, and that being said, like, this is another example. I should say that this literally just happened yesterday. For some reason, I like hit a shot or I did something happened in the game that I was playing. I was like, man, that was pretty nifty. That's all I said. And then someone in chat was like, did you just say nifty? And I was like, I guess. And like, what is this, the 80s? Like, what the? Why did you say nifty? And again, my chat the entire time just ran everything that I did. It was like, wow, that was pretty nifty.
That was nifty.
That was nifty.
That was
wow,
nifty.
shifty, wow, shady, very nifty. And all this kind of stuff. So like now my next emote is going to be shady nifty.
I like it.
And
I don't have like I have my emote unlocked. I just don't have a stream meme yet.
Well, but that's just it, right? Like you wait for that to come up, and then it's just like, hell yeah, this is going to be the thing. So I mean, I could just do the word nifty, right?
Yeah.
And it'd be perfect. Anytime something sick happens, everyone just spams nifty.
The most hype moment ever.
Yeah, nifty.
Nifty.
Right? So it's just like, yeah, anyway, I want to have these emotes for people, and it's just a weird, it's part giving a little bit more value to someone subscribing to my channel, but it also just shows that, like, man, it's insane to think about going from 3 subscribers to now every month there is 25. Like, that's such a huge jump. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I don't know if it'll ever happen. It might never happen. I don't know. But that's the goal, right? That, and then so I have like 230 followers. Sorry, 230 followers, probably somewhere around there. My goal is to more than double that. So I'd like to hit 500.
Hit 500 by the end of the year.
Yeah. So I'm like, the hope is that the idea of branching out and doing content on other platforms leads to more viewers.
Yeah.
Which is the idea, right?
Which is the play.
That's the play. So I'm hoping that with us doing something like this, plus me streaming regularly and keeping a constant schedule and all that kind of stuff, plus making more content, leads to me more than doubling the amount of followers in like 8 or 9 months than I got in 2 years. That's the hope.
And that makes sense. And that's what every big streamer says is get that offline content going.
Exactly. So that's kind of the goal. I guess before we jump off here, we should like, it would be almost criminal to not talk about Valorant real quick.
Man,
like, we have to, right?
I'm excited for Valorant.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Valorant is an FPS that's done by Riot, who are the guys who make League of Legends. It's to me, maybe you have a different view. It's Counter-Strike played by Overwatch characters.
100%. They had a baby and Valorant came out.
Exactly. That's what it seems like, right? So from my understanding is last weekend, which would have been the last weekend of March. I'm not going to try and guess the date because I'm an idiot. The last weekend of March, Riot apparently, I guess, flew out a bunch of streamers. My understanding is, this is, I guess, another unique part of this. My understanding is, I guess, with other games like, say, Call of Duty or whatever game is coming out, the developers have paid streamers to come to spend the weekend with us. They'll put them up, they'll give them their food, and they'll pay them for their time.
Yeah, it's a very common thing for gaming influencers to be paid, flown out, wined and dined.
My understanding was Riot invited people and would fly them out, but aren't paying them.
Oh.
So if they want to come, they can. We'll pay for your flight to get here, but everything else, your time, that's on you. And apparently they were swamped with applications.
Wow.
From the biggest names in gaming.
I really feel like people are excited for this game.
Genuinely excited. Like, very, very, very much. Like the community is dying for something since Fortnite and PUBG weren't 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Like I think the market is genuinely just screaming for something new, and Valorant has a very strong potential to be that. So that's an unprecedented thing that all these multi-millionaires are willing to just volunteer their time to try something new. That it just kind of shows that people are genuinely excited. But yeah, it's Counter-Strike mixed with Overwatch. So what do you call those 5v5 plant the bomb
Battle arenas.
Battle arenas, exactly, right? It's
Yeah.
that kind of idea. And so what they're doing this weekend, which is the first weekend of April, today's what, April 3rd, right? We're recording this on April 3rd.
It is April 3rd.
Right. Damn, I'm good. So on April 3rd, this weekend, what they did, so last weekend, they had those people come out and each streamer recorded content of themselves. And then this weekend, they're just replaying that content and talking over it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's going on.
Yeah, I was watching Summit today. To 100,000 fucking people.
Before I left to come down
Jesus.
here, there was 162,000 people.
162.
Insane numbers. So it's getting crazy
That's
numbers.
broadcast television numbers.
Honestly, yes, it is.
That's crazy.
So then this Tuesday, the beta is
on the 7th. Right?
Yeah, so the closed beta goes up.
And you get keys by watching streamers. That's such a
It's-
cool. I love that.
It's great. Yeah, the drop thing is amazing. But it looks very, very, very promising. It looks like they focused on absolute gameplay over anything else. Obviously, there's a lot to be learned as to what'll come of it. But for all these big streamers to go out there essentially on their own dime because they're not streaming, which means they're not making money,
Yeah.
shows me that they could have something here. And Riot is like one of the biggest developers in the world. And I mean, League of Legends is so polished that
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a polished game. It's gonna feel good. It's gonna
I
look
would
good.
think so. Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
I'm excited. I'm
gonna play the shit out of it for sure.
Dude, I'm dying to get a key for the beta just to see what it feels like, and then just get slapped by all these people who are really good because I'm not sick
Yet.
yet.
But
I
if you
can't
get
wait.
in early enough, practice enough.
Who knows, dude? I would love to have a new game to just absolutely sink my teeth into. Like, I would love a new game that I could put 2,000 hours into.
Right?
God, that would make me so happy. That should be
Absolutely.
another goal for 2020 is for a developer
Sink
to put
$2
a game I can sink 2,000 hours
Sink
into.
$2,000 of hours.
$2,000.
$2,000 of
$2,000 of
hours.
hours.
And $2,000 of microtransactions into a game.
Easily.
Easy.
It's worth it, dude. Free to play, by the way.
God, I am gonna sink
Smart.
$2,000
I
into
know.
microtransactions.
Dude, I think we did it. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2 of the Hotfix Podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be back every Monday. All streaming services, YouTube, hotfix.com. Please go check it out.
Hotfixpodcast.com.
Hotfixpodcast.com.
Doesn't even get our website right.
Christ. All right, guys. Have a great night. You're the best.
Good night.
Love you guys. Take care. Peace.
Bye. All right, producer Gabby, how was that episode?
I've seen worse.
That's such an improvement.